What's going on, guys? It's your boy Scrub here, back again with another video. Hope you guys are having a great day. I know I am, and today we're going to be talking about somebody that's not having a great day. This lady went to the ER, sat in there for 7 hours, wasn't seen, and went home without talking to a doctor, and then they charged her $700 for it. Yeah, I figured we could talk about it because it's stupid. Let's go.
Nice rack and her ass Brazilian. Just turned 21, but my bank's a million.
Alright, so I think everybody knows that, medical care in America can be very, very expensive. I don't think that's a secret. But the one caveat that I think most of us assume is that, you have to actually receive the medical care to get charged for it. That's at least how I thought it worked. Woman billed $700 after sitting in ER waiting room for 7 hours and leaving without treatment. So let me get this straight, bro. I'm just charged $100 an hour to sit in the ER, even if you guys are slammed and nobody ends up helping me. Like, just because I'm sitting in that chair, it's $100 an hour. I just don't even know how you're supposed to react to that information. Obviously, I understand that, medical care is expensive, an MRI scan's gonna cost money, but how is $700 fair for somebody sitting in your waiting room and not being helped? Not to mention, dude, how annoying for this person, man. You don't get helped, but they still bill you. They didn't even take her to the back room and ask what was wrong. She literally sat in the lobby. A woman said she was billed for a trip to the emergency room, even though she didn't receive treatment. Taylor Davis said she went to Emory Decatur Hospital ER in July for a head injury. All right, everybody, that's the hospital to avoid if you need an ER, allegedly. Okay, I don't want to get sued, but I'm just saying this is the place where they'll bill you for sitting, apparently. Seriously though, dude, hospitals have just become the most ridiculous thing ever. I think the biggest case of this is I saw this tip one time. If you get a hospital bill and you ask for an itemized version of it, the bill drops substantially once they have to tell you what you're being charged for. It just seems like this entire industry, which is crucial to survive, is about separating as much money from people as humanly possible. $700 for sitting in the waiting room with a head injury that you guys didn't help? Okay, I guess worst case scenario, maybe it comes out that she did get treated, she doesn't remember it. It was a head injury, but I don't think that happened. Chances are that this hospital unironically billed somebody $700 for just sitting there and not being helped. I'm at least glad people are talking about this now, bro. Usually this $700 charge, if you're in the hospital for a week, you probably don't question that much. But yeah, when you go there and don't even talk to a doctor, it's obvious that the charge you're getting is absolute baloney and should not be there. She sat in the waiting room for hours, but with no end in sight, she decided to leave. I sat there for 7 hours, and there's no way I should be sitting there for 7 hours. A couple of weeks later, a surprise came in her mailbox. It was a bill from the hospital for $700. I didn't get my vitals taken. Nobody called my name. I wasn't seen at all. I want to make it clear, too, this has nothing to do with, doctors or nurses. Those people are working their balls off, dude. I know emergency rooms are crammed right now. I don't want anyone to think I'm hating on people working in the hospital. It's not their fault that the system is set up like this, right? If your mom's a nurse in a slammed ER, that sucks. She's working her tail off. No one's doubting that. But the company that owns the hospital, dude, is kind of a jerk for charging people $700 for just sitting there. Not to mention, 7 hours in an emergency room for a head injury seems like a substantially long period of time, dude. I get things are busy, obviously things are slammed right now, I've never been in a hospital, but shouldn't head injuries be near the top of the list? I don't necessarily know too much about medicine, but I feel like head injuries are pretty serious. Obviously not as serious as somebody that just cut their arm off with a chainsaw, but I feel like letting someone with a head injury just sit there for 7 hours is kind of a dangerous game, dude. What if she just had a severe concussion and a brain bleed? I also love that, they didn't even take her vitals or call her name. I could understand some type of charge if they took her to the back, took her vitals, gave her a prescription, send her home. But if you're literally just sitting there for 7 hours, what service did you get that you're paying for? The electricity and the air conditioning? And even then, it's costing each person in there $700 for 7 hours? That's the most expensive air conditioning and electricity of all time, dude. If you literally need to be charging $100 an hour per person in your hospital with 1,000 people in it. Davis said she was convinced it was a mistake, so I called them and said it's hospital, and she said it's hospital protocol even if you're just walking in and you're not seen. When you type in your social, that's it, you're going to get charged regardless. She said she was told it was an emergency room visit fee or facility fee as it's called in some cases. It's often added to the person's total hospital bill, so it might not be as noticeable as it is in this case. Well, this just might be the stupidest system I've ever heard for charging people. Like, imagine if this is how any other industry worked, bro. I'm gonna compare it to restaurants. Like, all right, you're on a really busy street, dude. Every restaurant is slammed. You walk up to a hostess and you say, "How long's the wait?" They say an hour. So you put your name in, but you also put your name in at another restaurant that calls you sooner. Should both restaurants charge you $700 because you put your name on the list? Or is that a little bit ridiculous because, like, you know, they didn't actually give you anything, you just put your name on a waiting list? That's what this lady did. She basically put her name on a glorified restaurant wait list to see a doctor, and then nobody saw her and they still charged her $700 for it. Like, imagine placing an Uber Eats order. The delivery driver just never goes and gets your food. You never get your food that you ordered, and then they still charge you for it. Like, hold on, what are you charging me for? I didn't get anything. The emergency room visit fee, $700 for just walking into an emergency room. No wonder people like take an Uber to the ER instead of an ambulance. Just visiting and not even getting seen is gonna cost you nearly $1,000. An email sent to Davis by Emory Healthcare Patient Financial Service says, "You get charged before you're seen, not for being seen." "That makes sense to me," said nobody ever. Davis said, "Unfortunately, she'll think twice before stepping foot in an ER now that she thinks she can be charged for it. I'm reluctant to go to the hospital now. This kind of thing is the last resort now. Seeing that they're able to bill you for random things doesn't make me want to go, so that's not good." Emory Healthcare sent the following statement. "It takes all patient concerns seriously and appreciates this has been brought to our attention. Our team are currently looking into this matter and will follow up directly with the individual." Yeah, y'all better drop this bill, bro, and this practice better get stopped, dude. This is the stupidest thing I've ever heard, man. Like, you're literally making people afraid to use the hospital. I don't know if you know this, but if you make everyone horrified to use the ER, people won't use it, and then you're still not gonna make money, guys. Like, you don't have to rob everybody that steps foot in a hospital to make money, because people have to use a hospital. Like, this is one of those businesses that you don't have to rob everyone for, dude. You really just don't. People are going to need the ER. They're gonna need surgeries. Someone's appendix is going to burst, so you don't need to rob every person that steps foot in the room to, like, make money. That's what I think is so frustrating about this, dude. Like, you can make money without charging people $700 for sitting there. You could. You're not, but, like, why? If people gotta, you know, cut costs and whatnot in order to keep the doors open, that's a little bit more understandable. But this just seems like a situation of them realizing they can charge people for it, so they're just going to. Anyways, I bet you this is going to get resolved and wiped off because this is horrible PR for the hospital. The last thing you want to be known as is the people that, like, charge for sitting in your waiting room. But yeah, it sucks that it even has to come to this. Like, the fact we have to write an article and, like, talk about it in order to maybe get this taken care of is silly Billy. You shouldn't be able to charge people for something they don't get. It's just that simple. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for the video. Hopefully you enjoyed. If you did, I'd really appreciate you taking a second to press the like button. Let me know in the comments section down below what you thought. And of course, subscribe if you're new and turn on those notifications. If you really want to help me out, link to the intro songs down below, along with a link to my podcast, The Scuffed Cast, or you could use code Scrubae at the G Fuel checkout. Great way to get a discount on G Fuel and help me out. And last but certainly not least, I did put a bunch of my story times up on Spotify. They're going to be going up every couple months on there. So if you want to listen to the story times, you know, offline or whatever, traveling, going on a plane, you can do that there now. I'll put a link at the top of the description if you want to check it out. But yeah, on that note, guys, that'll do it. Don't get anyone pregnant. If you do, make sure they're hot. And hopefully I'll see you guys next time. I'm out. Peace.